Well, it's the end of the year, everybody. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Yule, Happy Festivus, and a happy everything you really celebrate. During my holiday season, when I wasn't watching the SpongeBob Christmas special while staring out the window to see my hell world that I'm living in, I decided to take a little step back in time and reminisce on this year in general, specifically for music. See, I'm not really good at keeping track of new releases of albums, so I decided why not go back and start listening to some of the albums I forgot to listen to, aka most of them. Sad to say that the amount of albums I listened to when they first came out can be counted on one hand. It's 4. So yeah, for the next couple of videos, I'm going to be doing little, just quick thoughts on some of the albums I listened to that came out over this year of 2021. And this part specifically is going to be about the albums I listened to that came out in January, February, and March of this year. Yeah, there's not really much else to say. Let's get to it. I forgot to mention this earlier, but during the transitions to each album, I'm going to be playing a song called Price Tags by Jasmine Sullivan. Speaking of which... God, is this fantastic! First half of this album is really filled with some of the best bops of the year. Stuff like Bodies, Pick Up Your Feelings, On It, and especially Price Tags with Anderson .Paak. That is one of the best R&B... No, that is the best R&B song of the year I've heard so far, and a good contender for best song of the year. That is so catchy and good! The second half of this album, instead of being about the bops, I think the best songs of the second half are the more intimate and emotional ones. Stuff like Lost Ones, The Other Side, and Girl Like Me with her in it. This album is the embodiment of everything I love out of a modern R&B album. And this is a concept album too! Shut up and take my money! Yeah. Well, I'll say one thing about this album. 3 of the words in its title are right. These are boys, they are playing jazz, and this makes me want to take Viagra. Otherwise, this album's fine, but most of the songs just sound like they're trying to be King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard wannabes, so hard pass. A very common theme throughout this year is a giant boom in post-punk albums, and this was the first one to really start that. And while I don't think it's as good as the other albums that will come up later on in the series, I think it's still a great album with some great songs in it, and a worthy way to start off the post-punk revolution, baby! Your Honor, I, Lime, have my statement for the jury and everyone here at court. OK Human is one of the best albums Weezer has made in quite some time, if not in their entire discography. While I think it has its faults, I think Weezer, going into the style of Baroque pop reminiscing on such albums as Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and Pet Sounds, suits their style weirdly well. Rivers Cuomo seems very passionate about this style, and this is the most personal and beautiful he's ever been on any Weezer album, with such songs as examples like Alu Gobi and Numbers. I don't think it's as good as the White Album or the Blue Album, but most things won't be as good as that. And I think this is a fantastic album, and I hope that this is where Weezer goes in the future. Also, this album is better than Pinkerton.
What is this? You don't mean Pinkerton?
Yeah. I went into this album very excited, as I've been on a pretty huge Quasimodo kick lately. And to be completely honest with you, I was kinda disappointed. That doesn't mean I think it's bad. I think it's a good album. but I kind of expected a bit more from Madlib, to be completely honest with you. Maybe I'm expecting too much since I know how good he can be. But overall, it's still a good album.
You can't keep getting away with it!
God, I know I just started the post-punk revolution, but I'm scared that there's gonna be an album that's so amazing in the genre of post-punk that blends its horns, its strings, and all of its instrumentation together beautifully into one amazing package that just completely flips you on your head. I'm not gonna be able to be prepared for it. Oh no. I need to run!
So this is what weather is like.
Yeah, this album was fantastic. The instrumentation was very lush. The singing was beautiful. Overall, this is just a very pretty album, and this is definitely a good album for the season. Well, the winter season, that is. Not really much else to say, so I'm gonna jump on a hammock for funsies. Heard of Slow Tie when I saw his appearance on Momentary Bliss by Gorillaz, but listening to this album, even though I'm not a huge fan of trap rap, like, this has some fantastic bops on it. The first half is great and abrasive and has a song called Cancel on it, which is the one bad thing about that side, but the second half, production-wise and song-wise, blows that out of the field. Like, that is some of the best production I've seen on any rap album this year. I don't really have any jokes for this. This is just a damn solid record. Yeah. You know something weird's going on with me when this album, this loud, hard-hitting, abrasive, overall chaotic, crazy, industrial rock album helped me fall asleep one night. I respect this album, and I respect Nick Cave as a musician. I mean, from what I've heard, he's a fantastic artist, but I don't know, man. Something's just not clicking with me here. Yeah. I've been having a weird stigma with King Gizzard lately. Ever since their 5-album run in 2017, I feel like all their albums have been kind of either hit or miss for me. And while I've liked stuff a lot like Infest the Rat's Nest, they haven't really been focusing on that sound, and have been focusing on the microtonal stuff with KG and LW. And while I think LW is an improvement to KG, both the albums I feel like are just kind of alright, but like not even close to what King Gizzard does at its best. And I feel like that kind of turnout has kind of burnt me out on King Gizzard for a bit.
We got a #1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we bout to get down. 10 kills on the board right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town.
Imagine, if you will, the love child between Thundercat and Song Machine style Gorillaz. Then you get this album. This is a fantastic alt-rap album and has some of the best production I've seen all year. Like, seriously, this album sounds fantastic. Also, Drown is one of the best rap songs this year. That is such a catchy song, and I love it. One final note about this album, when I was first listening to it and saw the title for the first time, this is because of my trash brain here, but the only thing I could think of was that one line from The Lighthouse about eating grass with no teeth. Here's an image of Willem Dafoe holding an orange.
Yeah.
And now, an emotional guide to Justice by Justin Bieber. When listening to this album, if you are already not a fan of Justin Bieber, you will feel one of the following emotions. 1. Fatigue. 2. Confusion.
What's the point of the MLK interludes? And why does Justin not understand what they mean? And why is this the worst usage of MLK interludes I've ever seen on any album?
And 3. Realization.
This album's target demographic is men who gaslight women. Thanks, Justin.
We interrupt this program to give you a very important message. There is a crazy criminal around the prow going by the name of a fruit that has been committing several hyperpop-related crimes. His crimes include the constant hate of 100 Gex and his most recent target, Underscores by Fishmonger, which he says is fine, but not very good of an album. If you see this man going around your town, make sure to stay away or else he's gonna give a hyperpop album a 4 out of 10. Now wait. He's here? We have to go and get him. I don't have the camera on me, so I'm gonna have to play some very good intermission music while I go catch him. And now, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah.
Okay, why is no one talking about this album? This is one of the best alternative and one of the best albums I've heard all year. I had heard of Death from Above 1979 before this, but God, I was not expecting the production and the songs and the instruments and the singing to be so good. And I just get so much happiness out of this album. Like, it gives me the same feeling I get from an MGMT album. Yeah, this is definitely one of the best albums I've heard this year, and probably the most underrated album I've heard all year. Can't wait to hear more from Death from Above 1979 and check out their old work. I will admit and say that this wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. It's still awful, but I think it might be AJR's best album because it actually has flickers of creativity in it. But in the end, this is still the same album AJR's been making for the last 4 years. Same bland production, same annoying production choices, same auto-tuned, awfully sounding singing, same lyrics that sound like they're written by a 7-year-old, same lyrical topics. Okay, I admit there's some different arrangements in terms of instruments. The same lowest common denominator, mind-numbing pop music meant for the radio and just moms who like over-positivity music. It's the same thing I've been ranting about for the last couple of years. It's the same album that I've listened to in 2017 and 2019. Except with maybe a couple glimpses of okayness. It's sad, really. It's sad to see pop music go down this low. Pop music now just seems like... it seems lifeless. And I'm not trying to say that like, oh yeah, old music is so good, awful music is nowadays. Like, I like a lot of modern music, and modern art pop specifically is fantastic, but the stuff that's being played on the radio isn't that, and it's just the stuff that will get shareholders and companies a couple of dollars. It's sad, really. What happened to this genre, man? Wait, hang on. I gotta end this off in somewhat of a positive way. I mean, I can't just end off this sadly. Wait, I got it! I'm gonna go onto the news and tell everyone about how this pop album is really bad. 'Cause, you know, I have never done that before. Not once in my life.
I've come to make an announcement. Pop music is dying. It's dying because it's lifeless and soulless, and we need to save it once and for all. We need to save it from the corporate suits who are turning it into lowest common denominator music and turn it into a creative, artistic genre again. AJR is not just the problem. It's the corporate suits at head that are destroying this genre once and for all. And I say we should stand up to them.
Hey, that's the hyperpop criminal! Get him!
Got a blast!